Ho, 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 and a bottle of rum, Bernie. How are you?
Good. Merry holidays to you all. I know it's already past it, but hopefully it was a good one for everybody.
Yeah, hopefully it was, dude. Merry late Christmas, my brother, and to all a good night. It's been a crazy weekend of stuff. Spider-Man's bot. That is the craziest news. I'm sorry. I got to talk about that real quick. The whole movie during the pandemic with new variants and crap just ravaging the world, it's still making bank with effortless ease. And this is the first movie I've seen in forever that's sold out no matter what time it is.
That's the power of Spider-Man, man.
It really is, man, with the very little marketing that they did. No, not very little. They did some marketing, maybe a couple spoilers here and there.
But very close to its best, yeah.
Yeah, but there were a lot of rumors, but that didn't stop people. I'm super happy. I still want to see it again. I've been so tired from work. I haven't had the time to, but I'm definitely going to go see it again at IMAX this week. So I'm excited, but let's get down to the doozy stuff here. So last week, Hawkeye finally ended its 6-episode run, its first season. Hopefully we get a second one. I don't know. They haven't talked about that.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm a little indifferent. This one, I was really loving this show, and I still do. It was still very enjoyable to watch. However, it did not end on a good note, much like some of the majority of the MCU series this year. So,
kind of stumbles to the finish, unfortunately.
Very, very much so. Like a drunk at the New Year's Eve party that will be happening this week.
Uncle, that has too much of a good time.
That one bachelor that's just, trying to regain some mistletoe. It's like Christmas ended 5 days ago, bro. It's no more mistletoe. Oh, man. But before we get into the spoilers, I'm just going to give my rating of it real quick. I hate to say it. I'm going to give this one
series as a whole, you mean? Or, yeah, right?
Yeah, I'll give the series as a whole. I'm going to give it, because of the finale, a hard 3 out of 5. It was going to be like a 4, maybe even a 5 for me, but this one definitely kind of messed it up a little bit for me. So it's still great. I would still watch again, especially during Christmas because it's a Christmas themed one. But I'm kind of good after this one. But what about you, Bern?
Yeah, I guess the series as a whole. I would say I was about the same as you. It was very much like a 4 out of 5 for me. Very enjoyable. The characters were great. It's just that I had a lot of questions about the story and how much it was developing. It felt like we only got to episode 5 and it felt like we were just getting started. So I was a little bit nervous and I made mention of that in our last review. And unfortunately, really a finale is a product of its season. How well things are set up there and things just weren't set up too well, I think, outside of the central two characters. So I think on that part it fell front, and we'll get into that when we get into our discussion. But yeah, so it went from a 4 out of 5 for me to a 3 out of 5. I think I enjoyed it as much as Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I would put it in that area. It doesn't quite hit the top tier for me, which would be Loki and WandaVision, and not quite bottom tier as What If. Even that wasn't that too bad, but yeah, overall, it's a solid series. The characters are fun. Kate Bishop is a great addition to the MCU, and I'm looking forward to seeing where they go from here.
Absolutely, but let's dive into the spoilers. So, guys, if you haven't seen it, because again, I know the holidays and stuff like that, it's on Disney Plus, the whole show, so you can binge it or catch up with us, and then come and check out our reviews, especially this one. So, what do you say, Bern? Shall we get started?
Yeah, let's get right into it.
Alrighty, so the first things first, Kingpin. I got so hyped up from the episode before this, and this one completely just... It's like the writers chose not to make him a big deal or understand the character from Daredevil, the Netflix series, because it's and this is supposed to be the same guy. It's Vincent D'Onofrio, so there's no denying that.
Yeah.
But it was just completely black and white. This is not the same Kingpin. It was great to see him again, but throughout the episode, it was just kind of garbage. You know what I mean? Very underutilized.
Yeah, and especially for people like myself who have been really big fans of the Daredevil series, is very much more like an MCU version of Kingpin. One thing I did like is that he did seem to have a power upgrade. He seemed a lot more powerful here. taking an arrow to the chest, getting hit by a car, getting blown up, like it, and like just tossing people around like they were just like paperweights. So that was kind of cool to see. And Vincent D'Onofrio, he's a really good performer, and he's going to give you a really great performance. And his take on Kingpin is like really good. It's just, again, just like everything surrounding him was kind of just disappointing. Where if the tracksuit mafia like are his guys, like they're such a joke. That it's like it's hard to be like, okay, this is like these are the enforcers for like one of the scariest crime lords in all of the MCU. Like if those are just his guys, which hopefully it's not, like hopefully there's just like one part of like his big scheme or whatever, that would make a little bit more sense. But if these are like actually like his crew, it's like that's kind of like puts a damper on him as like a legitimate threat.
No, I think they're definitely one of the many gangs he controls. Like he's still a big, like they don't call him the big guy for a reason. But again, there's not enough for us to know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where the whole reveal with his character is a downfall. Like I did like him meeting Eleanor and stuff, but the fact that she was kind of so ballsy to him, it's like you realize who this guy is, right? Like saying I'm just quitting, that's it, that's the end of it. It's like I was kind of like, what the fuck you think you are? Like that ain't gonna cut it. But the execution of that whole, like, trying to get Eleanor and stuff was just pretty lame-ass, not gonna lie. Like, there was no real threat whatsoever, no real learning the error of her ways kind of thing. So that was another one that really bummed me out, was the whole Eleanor plot line. That really was nothing, not a big deal.
Yeah, it was just kind of like hand-waved, essentially, like, it was like, okay, like you were in this mess, and, like, we didn't really get to see much of that at all, and now you're like leaving, supposedly because you want to like do right by your daughter. It's like, okay, like fine. I barely knew anything about you, so it's like this whole situation is like something I could care less about.
Yeah, like we only know that her husband owed money to Kingpin, that she took care of that and then gained them, so like they both profited off her success. It's like, cool. But what was the whole point of why did this need to happen?
Yeah,
and
I think it's just one of those things where they try to play it close to the vest for too long. Like they wanted everything to be like revealed and come to the surface on the last episode, but it only does the story and the characters a disservice because we're just like, okay, like you have told me nothing up until this point, so why do these big reveals mean anything really? Like if it happened halfway through the season, then we get to see like, okay, like now the machinations of the villains are coming to light, and now we're understanding what their motivations are. And it's like here it's just like, oh, they were doing things, now they're not. It's like, oh man.
Exactly. And then the whole Jack thing too. I'm sorry, I know I'm airing out all my disappointments now so I can get really excited about the good stuff,
we'll get to the positives later.
I'm venting about this now because Jack, again, so like given he's not the biggest villain in Marvel or a really important thing, but for what they were really playing him out to be, again, fucking nothing. It was like, what was the point of even having the mom and Jack even involved, and then the Kingpin showing up at the last minute? It was just not a lot of great setup. Like I do agree with you. They set up everything way too late, and then to try and do it all together, much like they did with Falcon and Winter Soldier and a little bit of WandaVision. Not too much WandaVision, but there was like a couple plot lines that just didn't work out in WandaVision finale.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it's just very disappointing, just because like I thought he was gonna be a badass swordsman, and he kind of was, but he was made out to be a joke at the end, and it's like, what? Like why is this even part of it? That's the problem with the MCU, is that they try and make it a little too family friendly with stuff like this, and it's like it's not working for me at this point. Next year they better step it up a little bit with more not too adult stuff. I don't expect Netflix level, but a little more seriousness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it seems like they're very successful when we get to see actual consequences play out. Like when we get to see heroes kind of like pay for their actions, or not always win. Which is why people really like Infinity War and Endgame and Spider-Man No Way Home. I won't say anything about that, but when characters undergo like trials and tribulations, and when things get like real for a second, that's when, the lightheartedness of the MCU is a credit to it. Like people like love to go to the movies for that. It's fun. But when things get dark, and when things get like very, very bad for the heroes. It makes it a lot more interesting, because it's like, oh, this is a tone we're not so used to, and it feels like they're a little bit hesitant to like dip their toe into that well, like often it's like, let's these are some serious topics that we can hit, and you can do it. It's just like it seems like they're too afraid to do it, and sometimes they undercut themselves and double down on humor instead, and then that's kind of like, ah, man, like like sometimes some moments really could use some gravitas.
Yeah, and I guess the last thing that was, I mean, there's gonna be one more thing, but I'll save it till the very end of this discussion. But it's like, actually, you know what? I'm just gonna say it. The only thing that really got me was just the ending of this episode. Or should I save it till the end? What do you think, Brian?
Well, I mean, it's a negative. Yeah, we can go ahead and just like address that right now. Because I want to talk about it too. If it's the same thing, I think you're thinking of.
Okay. Well, actually, there's two more things. One of them is the whole. I didn't like what they did with Yelena. We were talking about it last couple episodes, especially last one, and it was just like, oh, I hope they don't go that route of I don't care, I'm gonna kill you anyways. And they did exactly that.
Yeah.
It was like she's such a great character with some cool moments, like some of the best moments this whole show, and her motivations this one really just kind of made her a dumb character. I mean, I still want to see Elena. I love Florence Pugh and what she's brought to the MCU so far. I hope they keep continuing her story, but the whole plot line for her in this one just did not care for it. I very much disagree with the writers on that one.
Yeah. Again, I address that trope. The person that's been wronged by a death in their family, and they're going after the person. That revenge tale that we're all used to at this point. And just having them have like that moment where Hawkeye is able to like tell her everything, and yet she still like doubles down with the liar, or like I don't believe you, and anything like that. Again, it's not anything specific to this character. It's just that trope just bothers me in general, and I was hoping they wouldn't go into that with Yelena, but they ended up doing it, and it was kind of like this is really disappointing because it kind of makes the character a little bit dumb, where you're like, man, like. Anyone in that moment could have at least like listened a little bit, especially given all the circumstances of everything that happened in Endgame and the history of between, Clint and Natasha. So it's like, do you really believe like this person would have done that? And again, when he's telling you that she was the one who sacrificed herself for everyone, it's like, okay, like how would Natasha, she would do that,
Yeah, I just did not care for their little exchange while they were. Although I loved their fighting, I thought it was pretty cool. But the stupid conversation they were having was just like, oh god, like just get through it, get to the point already.
Yeah.
So I didn't care for any of that.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, it's really annoying when characters don't say what they need to say. Like it's like they talk in like cryptic speak. It's like there's no need to overcomplicate. It's just say what happened, like you tried to sacrifice yourself and Natasha didn't let you. And, she did it instead of just being like, it's so weird. I hate it when they make characters just like beat around the bush. It's like, just people don't do that. Just people say what they mean to say for the most part, it's like, there's no need to be like, oh, I did this and then she did that. And, like she wanted this. It's like, no, just come out with it already. Like you're literally doing that just so the plot can continue to have this conflict between the two of you. It's like, it just feels very forced and just unnatural. And it's like, it's just so blatant.
Yeah, that was dumb. And then the last thing, this is super petty, but also it kind of bothered me. Them trying to get rid of the Ronin suit at the end. I thought that was a nice gesture. But the way they're trying to get rid of it, I was like, what? Because, I mean, this is the spoiler part. So, the end of the episode, Clint and Kate are burning the suit in his barbecue. And it's like, it just survived an apartment fire.
Yeah.
Like, what? I thought this shit was fire. It was just, that was like the last part that really killed it for me this epised. I was like, fuck this, I'm done.
Like I get,
I'm getting on.
I guess maybe because they, put lighter fluid on it, maybe that burns it more. But yeah, it's like it survived a fire and then, we're going to destroy it with a fire. It's like, hold on. You could have tried it differently, please.
It was just the dumbest little touch to it, and I couldn't stand it. I was like, oh my god, they just... whatever. But Is there anything else we would need to vent about, Burn? Or should we go on to the positive?
Okay, yeah, it's just gonna be one more thing because I thought it was gonna be the thing you were addressing, but yeah, the whole resolution between Echo and Kingpin.
Yeah.
And,
that's right. That was dumb too.
It's unfortunate because Echo and Yelena are very interesting additions to the MCU. Like these like female characters that that are both on like revenge missions and stuff. And again, it just felt like Echo's storyline just kind of got like fast forwarded. Like we really only got the reveal last episode that maybe it was Kingpin who was the one who was responsible for her dad's death, or by proxy, like giving the information to the Ronin at the time. But that all just happened so quick, and it just felt like her and Yelena were kind of forced into the finale. With Yelena, she attacks Clint and then disappears for like 10 minutes and then comes back and fights him again. It's like, okay, like this wasn't really like implemented naturally. And having Echo just kind of show up randomly while Kingpin's on the run from getting blown up, or his fight with Kate, that was just like, oh man, it just feels like they didn't write it well to have them all converge at this like last stand like naturally, and I don't think they killed Kingpin, but I thought that was like a dumb thing to even like have.
Consider, yeah.
Yeah, like why do that? It just feels kind of dumb. Like if you did kill him, that's stupid. If you didn't, then why even have this like fake out? For his first appearance, it's just kind of like, okay, this could have been done a little bit better.
Like I said, man, I disagree with the writers very much on this finale. I thought it was a half-assed one to be said, just in the motivations, and then some of those big moments that were supposed to be, like you said, the resolutions. And it's like I think they just did it to wrap it up. Like, we have to do this now. It's like, yeah, great, man.
It feels very much like they were writing for maybe 10 or 13 episodes, and then they were told just 6, and then they had to like finish it up all quickly.
My face just 6. What the fuck?
It's like, all right, everybody, we're gonna write 10 episodes, and here's the plot layout, and then they come in the last minute during filming, like, no, we're only doing 6, guys, and they're just like, okay.
It's like we drew this out. Like, we had so many good things happening. Well, you gotta cut down to 6. What?
Like the dude from Elf, just 6 episodes.
6 episode arc, but that's impossible. 6 episodes.
There you go.
Whatever, dude. But anyways, okay, let's not be the Grinches now. Let's be happy about this.
Let's bring the cheer back into
Let's bring it back. I would say them making the trick arrows together was great.
Yeah,
just
awesome.
Finally them bonding together, and he's like, you're my partner. I'm here with you until the end. It's like, and even her just, what'd you just say? Like, you're my partner? Like, she Haley Steinfeld again. Kate Bishop is such a great addition,
awesome.
And she's the best person for it. She brings out that, her serious moments and emotional stuff, but also just overall hilarious and very, like, what's the word? Like, zany energy to the show.
Yeah, so, very, like, adorkable,
Very adorkable, absolutely. That's the best way to put it. And just them making the trick arrows, like, that's too dangerous. She's like, okay, making, like, little labels.
Yeah, the little label maker, I like that. That was great.
And I like that they used a mix of Pym and Stark tech, so that was really cool that they did that. And actually, if I remember, I was like, throughout the poster stuff, they showed a lot of his suit, and I thought, I don't know how I feel about it. Super basic, but seeing it in action this episode, I was like, man, besides the Ronin, that's my favorite look for Hawkeye so far. Yeah. Just because it looked, he just pulled it off. Her suit, I loved her upgraded one too, where it was definitely more of like her comic book look and stuff like that. Especially when they get to the party, and they're kind of in their own separate thing. She finds Yelena. And their whole exchange was the best part of this episode. Just they're stuck in the elevator. She's like trying to press the buttons. And she's like, seriously? Like, oh, fine. Tears off the suit, and her suit's underneath. She's like,
did you plan
that on purpose?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it was. Like, no, it wasn't. That was a happy accident.
Oh my god! And their fight scene throughout the office was great. Just they're so dumb.
Just the smack where she smacks Yelena, and just the surprised look on her face, like, what was that? Like, the betrayal.
And when she throws the bolo, when she's trying to throw the thing out the window, just ow! What is your problem? Like, I'm sorry. Stop making me like you.
Stop making me like
I'm sorry.
I
can't help it.
I can't. I hope they keep those two like paired up because they were
Dude,
so
they
good.
need to. They have to keep them paired up. Like they're future Avengers. I hope we see them more throughout the movies and the shows and stuff. They have to bring them back. And what else? Like how I said, their fight scene at the end when they're both just on the little like at the 30 Rock skate rink or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're just shooting arrows together. I was like, oh, that was great. That was great to watch, to see them together, fighting together, and all their trick arrows and stuff was really cool.
All that action choreography was really great. I think that's what they really nailed in this episode. You know, just again using all the trick arrows that we've been hearing, and we haven't really got to see him use too much in the movies, at least to like this extent. So to see them like here was really cool. I liked when they shrunk those dudes in the truck, and then the owl takes them away. Like, oh no.
It's just like, wait, how do we make it bigger? I don't know. I'll have to ask Scott about that. It's like, oh, the owl took him. Like, well, that solves that, I guess. It's like, oh my god, they're gonna get tortured with this little owl. That's
owl's
horrible.
gonna eat them.
And I will say this: I know Echo's little part in this was kind of worthless, but I loved her look at the end. You know, just her long straight hair, her prosthetic, like her all black, like prosthetic revenge look. It just she was great to see at the end. Like she was one of the best parts of this series too for me. So I hope we see her more throughout the shows and stuff as well, because I think those three ladies, like Kate, Echo, and Yelena, were the best parts of this show overall. Yeah,
and it's so cool because like they're all badasses, but they all have like their own strengths. You know, like they all have their different like fighting styles and stuff, and it's very unique. I like when they do that. They have, you know, the characters stand like apart from each other, but they're like equally as like cool and formidable in a fight. So that's really awesome that we got like these different, you know, new characters in the MCU that are going to provide something interesting in the action sequences going forward.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see those three fight again at some point, just like three of them face off. I hope we see that, but I kind of doubt it. Well, the future is untold at that point, but I don't know. I'm trying to think. What was another thing you liked, Bern? While I kind of collect my thoughts here, I'm trying to think.
Well, I mean, you know, for all the bad like story stuff they had with Kingpin, I did like, you know, his like physical presence. Like, I mean, I made mention that he has you know, like a little bit of a power upgrade. You know, when Kate's just throwing everything at him, you know, and he's literally just brushing it off. You know, like she shoots him in the chest with an arrow, and he just pulls it out and like breaks it, and like. And then she blows him up with the thing, and he just kind of gets up and walks it off and gets hit by her car. It's like, dang, like, again, they made him a really good physical presence, like a formidable foe in that regard. It's just usually, you know, the usual like crime, like lord stuff, and like the more thinking man, like villain aspect they didn't do a service on, but everything on the physical end, especially in his fight with Kate, I thought that was all really cool.
Yeah. I mean, the action has just been... I will say this. Out of all the shows, this had the best action for sure. That was the most enjoyable to watch. I think the best choreographed. So that was the last thing that really saved it for me. And then the mid-credit scene, I remember I was like seeing that throughout the day. Like, what is the mid-credit scene they're talking about? And as cheesy as it actually was kind of enjoyable. Seeing that little bit of the Rogers play, the Hammerstein thing. And it was just... It's such a musical number. I was like, oh my god! But at the same time, I couldn't help but like it a little bit.
You know, like I was in such a bad mood from like everything they did, you know, with Kingpin and stuff, and I just felt so bummed out. But when that like mid credit scene came up, I was like, I felt like Jason Segel and I Love You Man, just stupid. Just like enjoying it, but like trying not to because I'm in such a bad mood. Just like. I can't help it. Like, this is enjoyable.
Oh man, it was cringeworthy, but again, it was nice to finally see the whole thing. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more. I'm not gonna lie, but it was a nice little note to end the bummer of this whole like the disappointment part of this show. So
yeah, and we didn't mention the watch thing with
the watch
again,
thing. Yeah, that
something that was like
need to
barely
happen.
There. Yeah, it's like okay, it's his wife's, and you know we're supposed to assume that she's probably Mockingbird. I think right is like there's like the character that he gets married to in the comics. I don't remember for sure, but I think that was the implication of that.
Well, it's funny because Adrian Palicki from Agents of Shield, she was Mockingbird.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was a badass in that show, and then, so I don't get what the whole point of that. Like, I mean, I guess it's cool she was a Shield agent. That's how they met and stuff. But at the same time, like, it didn't need to happen. It was kind of dumb. Like, it was just an unneeded plot line. So
Again, just one of those elements they kind of threw in there and didn't really give enough air to breathe.
Nope, not at all. But I think that'll do it for me. What you thinking?
Yeah. Again, overall fun show to watch, and if you're gonna enjoy it, go in for Kate and Clint because they are the standouts.
Yeah, they were a great power couple to watch on this episode on this show. But the overall, it was just another MCU series. Hopefully, they can fix up the writing and stuff for the future ones coming like this upcoming year. And the next years, but we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Until then, guys.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Bern.
I was just saying, just hopefully it was the whole like COVID thing that kind of threw a wrench in a lot of the productions as we know. So hopefully that's the reason for all these poorly written finales for the most part.
Damn you, COVID. Yeah, exactly, bro. But well, again, man, 2022 is around the corner. They just dropped a new Batman trailer, so I watched that, and needless to say, March can't come here soon enough. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm prepping my cryo chamber because I'm gonna, go into deep sleep until March.
Is Batman out yet? No, put me back in. Okay.
I said 2022, not 3022. Damn it!
Oh my god. All right, everybody, let us know if you saw the finale, what you thought about it, what you liked, didn't like about it. Let us know. We'd love to know. And until next time, we got Book of Boba Fett coming out this week, so keep an eye out for that. And again, 2022, we'll see you all, and we'll see you all very soon and next year.
Yeah, well, we'll see you guys then, or we will see you on another time.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, me neither.
Peace out, dude.
Adios, man.